All right. 51-14 is the final. Notre Dame beats number 24 Navy in the Meadowlands. How many Meadowlands? I get like, where did that even come from? Somebody will correct me in the chat, I'm sure. So everybody have fun watching that one. Wasn't really too much in doubt after that second turnover, in my opinion, but obviously Navy played tough as always. Respect Navy. In our opinion, never take Navy off the schedule. Waiting for the audience to build here a little bit, talk about the game. Again, the Irish win 51-14 over the 24th ranked Navy midshipmen. I'm going to talk some stats, talk about your overall feelings on the game, what lies ahead, looking at some of the top 25 scores. What's this score, Nate?
Nebraska's down 4 driving, about 3 minutes left.
That would be big if Nebraska could somehow beat Ohio State.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
That would be helpful.
That'd shake up college football even more.
And then I know BYU plays UCF later, which I think it's at UCF, but they've got UCF as the favorite in that game, so that would obviously be some movement as well. All right, everybody, if you got some questions, you want to talk about the game, what were your thoughts? Game balls. Let's talk game balls. Who you give your game ball to for offense for the Irish?
I mean, it's hard to say not Riley Leonard or Jeremiah Love, honestly. I can't really pick between the two. They almost played perfect games, both of them. So, yeah, I can't really decide. So, I'll just say both.
I'm going to give the game ball to the O-line, the entire O-line.
Yeah.
They played really well. Billy Scruth came back, had a great game. Rocco played well. Emil Wagner played well. Anthony Knapp played really well. In fact, Anthony Knapp, no holding penalties, so that was a little bit of an issue for him, and none this time. And that's pretty good considering Navy's D-line is not necessarily big or talented, but they're pesky. So good game all around for the O-line. I'm giving them my game ball on defense. I mean, really, you could give it to the entire defensive unit. As we expected, KVA, Jack Kaiser, and Drake Bowen all had big games. Schuler with another turnover, so that was huge. See, Amber Sullivan, good solid win. I was happy to see them win the turnover battle and not let Navy run all over them. Yeah, I mean, 6 turnovers.
They crushed the turnover battle.
6 turnovers. And, of course, all the people that picked Navy to win, the quarterback's thumb was hurt. I don't care. What a great game on both sides of what a great game on both sides of the ball, Matthew Rose. Yeah, that Horvath kid is good. He's fun to watch as long as they're not playing us. So hopefully Navy will win out. I'm going to pull up their schedule. Nate, once you get into some more offensive stats from our guys.
Yeah, so Riley was 13 for 21 for 178 pass yards, and on 10 carries he had 83 rush yards. So a total of 3 touchdowns today, 2 passing, 1 rushing.
And he didn't play most of the fourth quarter.
I don't think he played any of the fourth quarter.
Actually. I mean, that's insane. What about rushing?
Jeremiah Love, leading rusher, 100 yards on 12 carries for 2 tutties.
2 tutties.
He had negative receiving yards.
I'm going to guess Bo Collins was the leading receiver, right?
Yeah, he was.
What do you have?
Well, actually, 60? He was exactly tied with Faison. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong one. Faison was the leading receiver.
Faison was?
Yeah. Faison had 52. Bo had 42.
Wow. Okay. And Bo had the touchdown.
Yep.
Mitchell had a touchdown. How long was Mitchell? Mitchell had what? At least 30s.
Mitch didn't have a touchdown.
Chris Mitchell.
Oh, Chris Mitchell. Yeah. He had 10 yards receiving.
Let's see. John David Harmon, you can win a national championship with Riley playing like this. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. No doubt about it. He's really turned it on here the last 3 or 4 games. That was my biggest fear, the run defense. Yeah, and they showed up big. So good comment, Dan Kurtz. Matthew Rose shut down a great offense, was one of the leading scoring offenses in the country, and how he defended that triple option was impressive. Riley is coming into his own, and Love is so explosive and fast. Yeah, we mentioned on the show before, Jeremiah Love is most dynamic back we've had since Ricky Waters for sure. Ken Walters, great team win. Absolutely. The next time I'll be rooting for Navy will be against Army, so Navy will beat them. The remaining schedule for Navy, they've got a bye week just like us next week, and then they play they don't have a bye. Next week they play Rice at Rice. Then they go on the road. They stay on the road against South Florida on November 9th. Go back home on November 16th against Tulane. And then they've got East Carolina at East Carolina on November 29th. And then, of course, the Navy Army game on December 14th. So they only play one more ranked opponent upcoming, but we'll hope they win out just like the rest of our opponents. What we got here?
Nebraska's still driving. First down, 3 minutes left. Down 4.
Justin Knox has one of the comments of the day so far here. He says, get healthy. Don't act like FSU is as bad as we think they are. Keep taking care of business. Yeah, I mean, FSU obviously is down. They're having a horrible year. I think they only have 1 win, but they're still talented. They still got 4 or 5-star athletes all over the field. So, and they're going to come in and try to ruin our season. So yeah, no, you got to take FSU very seriously. So you got FSU, then Virginia, then Army, and then the last game on the road in SoCal versus USC. So 4 winnable games left. We got to take care of business. 7-1, go 11-1, and nobody's keeping Notre Dame out of the playoffs. I was hoping to see some Urlacher defense in the end of that 4th. Yeah, I was thinking we'd see some Urlacher. Was hoping we'd see Kenny Minchie, but instead we got just Steve Angeli, which it is what it is. Brett Boyson, I still have reservations on Riley's accuracy. The receivers have to slow their route to stop, also throwing behind them, but great win, time of possession, and turnover control. Yeah, that's pretty much what the game came down to. I think Riley's looking better and better each game with how he's hitting his receivers in stride at most times. I mean, he had a couple bad throws today, but for the most part, he was locked in and I thought looked really good. And same against Georgia Tech, same against Louisville. I feel like he's really kind of silencing the haters a little bit with how he throws the ball. And of course, he's always going to be that run threat. I mean, the guy is just a dynamic athlete and can make plays with his feet.
Yeah, he started out perfect today, 7 for 7. That was huge.
Let's look at the defense. Who was the leading tackler?
So the leading tackler was actually Jalen Sneed.
Okay, nice.
And then, well, he was tied with Kaiser with 9. They both had 9.
How many did Drake Bowen have?
Bowen had 5. 5
Okay.
total.
So 5 for him. And then Jalen Sneed also had a touchdown on defense,
Yeah.
which was awesome.
Horrible KVA penalty.
Yeah, that KVA roughing the passer was insane. The quarterback still had the ball in his hands, and then he hit him, and there's literally nothing he could have done to stop, even if the ball had been released. So
yeah.
Really bad call. Again, thankfully the game was out of reach at that point, but still, that's just a horrible call. Let's go. Coach Free had him ready for the business trip. That's from Patrick McCormick, one of our other Irish Dos Leprechauns administrators. Justin Knox, he's driving the ball downfield. ABs, we have weapons on the perimeter on offense. Junior was my defensive MVP. Yeah, Junior Tumalaka was very good.
He looked really good today.
Adon Schuler really playing nice at safety. That's from Patrick McCormick also. Yeah, he looked really good. Again, X obviously had a good game. They stayed away from him. Leonard Moore tackled well today, I thought. Got a pick. Christian Moore did it again. Christian Gray had another nice game. I think those 2 guys are really coming into their own, and I think this was a good game to kind of get them some more reps. You normally wouldn't see Navy taking shots downfield, but they took quite at least a few today to test those guys out a little bit. The holding call or the PI call against Christian Gray, in my opinion, was a little bit suspect, but he did look like he held on to him a little bit at the end, but thought it was pretty good coverage. Terry Misner says, go Irish. Absolutely go Irish. This is a nice, relaxing win, I guess you could say. Normally, the Navy games kind of give you a little bit of heartburn, but the last 2 seasons, we've handled them pretty well. For everybody out there, I'd like to get your thoughts. We personally think you keep Navy on the schedule no matter what. It's that debt of gratitude. You saw the quote from Father Hesburgh that we're going to post a little bit later, but got to keep Navy on the schedule. But what do you guys think? Do you enjoy the Navy game still? Do you think it's something we should look at taking off? Where your head's at on that? Because we love the game, especially now that I can root for Navy for the rest of the year. What else on defense? Anything else stick out to you? I know we held them. It was the first time Navy had been held in the red zone all year. We did that twice. I know it was the first fumble recovery they had, and it was the first turnover they had since the first game. So let's see. Stacey York, go Irish. Yes, keep Navy on the schedule. Absolutely. Such a fun game, and you hear the pageantry. You see the pageantry. You hear the excitement, even though we were whooping them pretty bad. The cadets were still in the game. Nelson Rudd, I think that is one tradition that should always be kept. Couldn't agree more, Nelson. I think that tradition, so much of it is gone now with college football, with the NIL and the transfer portal and blah, 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 blah. This is something that I think is still pure and needs to stay. One shot block call from Jason Lynch. Yeah, I only saw one. And I personally didn't see the usual chop block that you'd see out of Navy. So that's reassuring because you can't do it anymore. So that's good stuff. See, Brett Boyson, I really like not having to walk around my house nervously because it's back and forth and too close to call scores. I like blowouts. Keep the service teams on the schedule. Amen. The other thing, so Notre Dame now has 3 ranked opponent wins. So I believe right now we're the only team in the country because everybody else had 2, but 3 wins against ranked opponents. Freeman's now got 5 wins in a row. Or no,
It's
6 wins.
It's 6 or 7.
Yeah.
I know he broke his record from 22.
Amber Sullivan said Navy should absolutely stay on the schedule. It's a strong tradition with mutual respect. Both teams look forward to it every year. The game typically stresses me out, but it's always a highlight on the schedule. Yeah, this was definitely not one that stressed me out like it normally does, but it was pretty easy victory for the second year in a row, which I appreciate.
And it feels like, in the last few games, we really haven't had a super big stress game. Maybe you can go to the Stanford game and say that first drive was stressful, but other than that, would you say our last 12 quarters have been almost 90% stress-free?
Yeah, give or take. Brett Boyson, who's our toughest game left? USC. Yeah, I'd say USC and Army. Like Justin Knox mentioned earlier, though, you can't take FSU lightly at all. They're going to come in ready to embarrass or take away our season. Kelly Bentley Reed said the roughing the passer call was horrible. Great win. Yeah, it was atrocious.
That one and the holding on Emil Wagner they called. I think it was in the third quarter. That was terrible.
Here's a good comment from Zach Burton. I go back and forth solely because I hate playing the triple option because of the style of play and it gets us banged up. But since we came away healthy, I'm good with keeping it for this year. I may change my stance next year. Fair enough. I get that. Back in the day, gosh, it seems like every time you play Navy, you lose one of your star linebackers or safeties for having to deal with that, but not anymore. Jason Lynch says Army in terms of the toughest games remaining. Patrick McCormick stress-free is nice. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's been nice this year not having to worry about some of these gimmies, as I guess you could call them. It should be a gimme, but it was one of our tougher games. And according to a lot of the analysts, that are getting paid a bunch of money, that we should have lost that game. So suck it. Respectfully. Let's see. What do you got here? Johnny Self, another big win, another top 25 team. Just keep rolling. Nice buy coming up, and let's end it 11-1. That's a great point, Johnny. Thank you. I love the timing of our second buy here. You get help, even if there was some. I saw Gabe Rubio getting mixed up a little bit. I saw a couple other guys kind of limping away on the O-line. So give these guys a chance to get 100% healthy to hopefully beat the out of FSU at home in a couple weeks at night. It'll be a night game, and then go out finish strong against Virginia, and then be ready to rock and roll against Army and SC. We close out the season with our 2 toughest opponents in my opinion, with Army and SC. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with SC for the last couple games. Are they off air? Who are you talking about, Pat? He said, are they off air? I'm not sure who you're talking about there. Jason Lynch says, Baby Mahomes sucking it up. Who's Baby Mahomes?
Dylan Raiola.
Oh, Dylan Raiola. Okay, yeah.
Pick.
Yeah,
State's going to escape.
Yeah, once again, we had a chance to go cover the Elite 11 camp in Southern California a few years ago. That they always have the finals there for the top. It's actually like the top 20 quarterbacks get invited, and then the top 11 get to compete for the Elite 11 crown. Some guy that committed to Auburn won it this year. I can't remember his name. Doesn't matter. But the guy that won it when we went was actually Dylan Raiola, and CJ Carr was there, which is why we were covering it. And in my opinion, CJ should have won that thing. I think he came in third. But yeah, Dylan Raiola, he's got a good future ahead of him, but tonight's not going to be his night, unfortunately, because I'd love to have seen Ohio State take their second loss. If you saw some of the graphics, you'll see Ohio State still has Penn State coming up on the road. Is that on the road or at home?
Yeah, it's at Penn State.
And then they got Purdue. That's a gimme. Northwestern, they'll beat them. Indiana, that'll be a tough game. And then Michigan. So you could potentially see at least one more loss for Ohio State, which would give them 2. So hopefully they do get that second loss and we win out, because I'm starting to look now finally at some of these teams ahead of us that we need to lose. I mentioned BYU earlier, so we'll see what happens there. Justin Knox said USC showed they have legit skill positions and talent last night. Yeah, that's the thing, man. Like USC has 3 losses or whatever it is, but they're still – do they have 4 losses?
Yeah, they have 4 losses.
That's terrible. It still is like they're still going to come in or we're still going to have to go there and play a team that has stud athletes on the skill positions all over the field. Now,
one thing we won't have to worry about is the crowd environment. So.
Yeah, there's going to be 50 SC fans there. Yeah. Anytime they have 1 or 2 losses and they're not in playoff contention or national championship contention, nobody shows up. When we were there a few years ago for Notre Dame SC, when Tony Jones scored that last second receiving touchdown from Ian, there was, I'm not even kidding you, I think there might have been 5,000 SC fans there and the rest were Irish fans. It was awesome. Are the Hoosiers for real? Dang. Yeah. I mean, they beat what? I don't know the score, but I know they're
31-17.
31-17. So 2-touchdown win looking like against Washington. That's a big win, whether it's at home or otherwise. That was a playoff team last year. Really don't understand football anymore. Might as well have red pennies on the QB's disgrace. Yeah, it's crazy. Who'd rather play Navy the first game than get the defensive back their normal style of play? Agreed. Let's see. What is this? This is from Corey Bodle. Not sure about y'all, but I'm tired of hearing it should be cakewalk the rest of the year. Them Trojans, however, down are still a very tough rivalry game, not a walk. Go Irish. Yeah, there's never an easy game on Notre Dame's schedule because, again, like we talked about earlier, it's every team's Super Bowl. And Army's going to come in ready. They'll probably still be undefeated, so they'll be looking to shock the world. Virginia, who knows? We lost to Northern Illinois at home, but senior day, you really don't expect us to have a mishap on that one. But yeah, man, SC and FSU, you still blue bloods of college football, still teams that recruit at a high level and still have high-level players on their team. It's just they haven't come together this year for whatever reason. Oh, well, better luck next year, Navy. That's from our guy, the favorite blockhead, Brian. Yeah, I know you're a Navy guy. Thank you for your service. Thank all those guys for their services. It's upcoming, and it's awesome to see that they're going to go on and do great things. I wish the sucky thing about having the game not on NBC is you can't see the mutual singing of the alma mater, but maybe we'll be able to find that somewhere and post it later on. Defensive MVP goes to Golden tonight. That's from Justin Knox. I mentioned the entire defense could have got it. As long as the entire O-line for offense. But, yeah, Al Golden's game plan was rock solid for sure. Great scheme against the triple option of the gun. Option principles. I'm not sure what that means, but, yeah. Stacey York, I had to scoot to catch the rest of the rerun. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thanks for doing what you do. Jason and Nate, go Irish. Thank you. Go Irish, Stacey. That's going to pretty much do it for our recap here. We're going to try to watch the rest of some of these games and try to find the alma mater and see if we can get that on here. But thank you guys for your support. We'll be doing a bye-week show next week. Obviously, won't have the post-game celebration, but we'll definitely have a podcast next weekend. Talk about the bye week, talk about the rest of the season and how things line up in the rankings. I would caution everybody not to lose your cool if we're not ranked super high, even though we beat a ranked team. It'll happen, but we just got to be in the top 10 to 11 when it's all said and done. So go Irish, beat FSU. Have a great weekend. God bless. See you guys later.